everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are finally going to be doing my eyeshadow palette declutter video. And as of lately, I just have not been wearing eyeshadow, and I feel that now I don't really need to keep every single eyeshadow palette that I have based on if it's part of a collection. Like I have a lot of ColourPop palettes that I keep just because they're a ColourPop palette, but I feel like now I really just want to declutter some stuff and just really pare down my collection, because I have like 3 drawers of eyeshadow palettes right now, and I don't even wear eyeshadow every day anymore. It's quite a rarity, and if I am, I'm usually reaching for a couple of smaller palettes, and I have some newer ones that I've really been wanting to try out. And yeah, I just want to go through all of my stuff. This is obviously not all of it. I just kind of had this for the thumbnail photo, but what I really wanted to do was just bring on one palette at a time onto the screen, because I feel like it would look really nice and really clean. So let me take the rest of these excess palettes off of here, and then we will start going through them one by one. So the first sort of like little selection of palettes that I have are actually from my top drawer of eyeshadow palettes, which are the ones that I typically reach for, or I have some newer ones or ones that are a little bit more expensive that I want to get some more use out of. So this first sort of batch of eyeshadow palettes are going to be pretty much all keeps, just because they're my more expensive ones or my favorite ones. So this first one I have here is the Retro palette from Natasha Denona. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes ever. It has a mixture of mattes and shimmers, and then some of the mattes are also a really nice sort of creamy formula, so they're super pigmented. It's such a gorgeous palette, and I typically reach for this one a lot whenever I want to go for some more type of pinky looks like this, so I'm definitely going to hold on to that one. And then my other Natasha Denona palette that I have is the Glam palette, and this one is more of a cool toned brown palette, so it's going to hold on to that one. Next up, I have a Huda Beauty palette. This is the Desert Dusk palette. This one I got pretty recently, and it's so gorgeous. I really love this beautiful sort of duochrome color. I've used this on my eyes before, and I do really like it, and it's also pretty new, so definitely want to hold on to it. Then I have this here from Pat McGrath. This is their Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad in Bronze Borealis. This one is so beautiful. I got this past Christmas from my parents. They bought this for me. Such a beautiful formula. Has a really nice matte, and then these super stunning, nice opaque shimmers. So definitely going to hold onto that one as well. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam 2 palette. This is basically the mini Soft Glam palette. I use this so much. It is my most reached for. I use pretty much every single shade in here except for Noir and Orange Soda, just because I don't really find myself reaching for them. Sometimes I do this if I'm going for like a smoky wing, but I'll almost always use Mulberry, and I absolutely love the formula of this. They're so creamy. This is like that standard, like original Anastasia Beverly Hills formula, and it's so good. So 100% going to keep that. It's my most used one. Another little palette I have is from REM Beauty. This is in the shade Baby Doll. I have only used this once. It's not my favorite formula. I don't think it's not super pigmented, but I haven't really played around with it too much, so I do want to hold onto it for just a little bit longer, especially since it's a really nice tiny palette. Next palette I have is this one here from MAC. This is the MAC Art Library in Flamboyant, and this one I don't actually think I have ever used. I got this in a mystery box, Poshmark mystery box a long while back. It's really nice. I just don't find myself reaching for these sort of warm tone shades like this, and if I do, I have a couple of other palettes that are a little bit more like orangey or warm focused, so I think I am going to declutter this one. Next up, I have this super large palette here from Pat McGrath. As you can see, it is a very big palette. This was the holiday palette. My boyfriend got this for me last year, and it is so good. It's the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette, and it is so gorgeous. Look at all of the shades in here. It has these really spectacular, sort of really special shades in here, I find, and I think that they are super unique, and they are just so shimmery and so glittery. Absolutely beautiful. So definitely going to hold on to this one. Next palette I have here is from Glamlight. This is the Pizza Veggie Lovers palette, and it has really pretty greens in it. The only thing is I just don't know how frequently I'm going to use this. It does have really pretty colors in here, especially like compared to with this one here from Pat McGrath. Like using those together I think would be super pretty. So I don't know, I really like the Glamlight formula. I just wish it wasn't in like this triangle shape, but I think maybe for now I'm going to keep it. It's fairly new, and I kind of wanted to use it in a video, just testing out a couple of products. So yeah, you know what, I'll hold on to this one for now, just because I know I'm going to get rid of quite a few other items. Then I have this here. These are cake liners from Glisten Cosmetics. This is the Pro Palette 4. So not an eyeshadow palette, but it is like a little sort of eye palette, and I'm going to keep that. Then I recently picked up this Rowan quad. This is the 1111 quad, and I got this in the BoxyCharm Mega Drop Shop. And how pretty are these? They're so beautiful. They're sort of like a creamy type of formula, and they are very, very special, really unique, and I just absolutely love it. They have a really nice sparkle to them. So definitely going to hold on to my 1111 quad. So I was going to try and do all my ColourPop palettes together, but these are just the ones that I have in my top drawer, and I am going to be keeping all of these. These are some of my favorite ones. This is the Star Wars Mandalorian palette, which is such a pretty color combination. I really, really love all of these shades in here, and I really want to do a look with that yellow, and this one right here, this sort of like icy type of color, which I had green on my fingers still, but it's just so pretty. Like very, very awesome colors in there and super unique. And then I have these two. These are in like the different type of ColourPop formula where the pans are a little bit bigger, and I find that the shadows aren't as like crumbly. They're almost like a little bit more soft, I guess. So this is the So Fly palette, which I'm absolutely obsessed with this one. It's a really, really nice spring palette. Again, I love that that middle shade in there. And then I have the All Amethyst palette. I love doing purple looks, so I definitely want to hold on to that one as well. And the quality of these shadows are so amazing. So really like those in the new formula as opposed to like the older, like smaller pans. I find that I find myself reaching for these types of palettes from ColourPop a little bit more than those ones. But yeah, that is it for everything in the top drawer. I do have a face palette, which there might be a couple of face palettes mixed in here, so sorry if you don't want to see them, but I do have this one that I recently got from Ofra. This is the Charm Your Cheeks palette, and this is a really beautiful blush palette. I picked this up in the BoxyCharm like Mega Drop Shop sale again, and so pretty. I absolutely love all of these colors. I find that it's a really, really nice variety of shades, ranging from like pinks and corals to some nice deeper tones and a nude color. Like I just find it's a really good palette. It's actually super thin and doesn't take up a lot of space, so I really enjoy that one and definitely want to hold on to it. So let me go ahead and pull up my other drawer, which I think is going to be mainly ColourPop. So let me take this off of my hand because we will probably have to do some swatch comparisons between a couple of the products just to sort of figure out which ones I want to keep. So let me clear this stuff off and I will grab the next batch. So I think this is going to be really tough, but I think it'll be okay. I'm feeling strong today. So first one I have is this here from ColourPop. This is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer palette, and this one I've actually never used. It is so pretty and it has really nice warm tones, but again, I just don't find myself reaching for stuff like this. It has some greens, which I'm keeping in the other palette, and then some really nice like pinky tones, which I know I have in other palettes, so I think I'm just going to declutter that one, unfortunately. Super cute, but I just don't really reach for it. Then I have this from ColourPop again. The next couple are going to be from ColourPop, and so I'm not going to keep saying it. But this is the Powerpuff Girls collaboration. So pretty. I'm definitely going to be keeping this one if ever I'm reaching for some neon colors. I always go for this palette, so definitely going to keep that one. And I have this one from the Hocus Pocus collection. This was the first launch that they had, and I actually also really enjoyed this palette. The purples and the greens in here are super good, and it has some nice taupe shades. And I do find myself reaching for this, and I find that it's a really nice sort of fun, more like festive Halloween palette to hold on to, so I do want to keep that one. Then I have the Witching Hour palette. This one is the one from this year, which, if I'm going to be honest, I don't really love, but this was such like a beloved collection that I feel like I'm going to allow myself to keep it. But I don't know if it'll survive the next declutter, so we'll hold on to it for now. This one is not ColourPop, but it was just the next one on top. This is the KVD Edge of Reality palette, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, it's really nice. Like, it has some beautiful shades. I just do not reach for it, and I don't know why. I don't know. Like, it's very beautiful, but it's just something about it. I don't really reach for it. The matte shades aren't super perfect. They're almost like a little bit too light and then a little too gray, and then this one just isn't the perfect shade to kind of blend out some of these other ones. I don't really use the blues or these reds, so I think I'm just going to declutter that one. This one is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Actually, this is the Pure Raw Beauty Christie palette. As you can see, I have used this a ton. It's super pretty, very similar to the shades that I like to use from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam 2 palette. I find that, like, I always mix these two shades together, and I mix, like, the two shades that look like that in the Soft Glam 2 palette. So if you are missing this, maybe check out the Soft Glam 2 palette. And then this does also have a colorful side, which I don't think I've ever even used any of these colors before, but, you know, it is good to have some of these brighter, sort of darker type of poppy colors, because I don't really have those in other palettes. So, of course, I'm going to keep that. It's one of my faves. Then I have the Tinkerbell Sprinkle a Little Magic palette. This is so pretty, and I do use this when I'm looking for greens, like these brighter greens, and it's also pretty new, so I'm going to keep that. It's also in that newer, like, collection where it has, like, a mirror and the bigger pans, and I find that I just enjoy this formula a little bit more than some of the older ones, so of course going to keep that. Then I have a couple of these in the hard container. This is the Baby Got Peach palette, and I'm feeling confident that I'm just going to declutter this one. I don't use it too often. The only one that I find that is, like, super unique is the Ready or Yacht shade. I think that that one is super nice, but I don't really wear peachy anymore, so I don't know. It's not super necessary, so I'm going to declutter it. And then the In a Trance palette, this one is missing a shade, and it's just super, super dusty kind of colors. Like, once it's on your eye, it just doesn't really work. They're pretty good pastels, but I don't know. I find that I have a couple of other rainbow palettes that I would reach for over this one, so I'm just going to declutter it. Then I have the Garden Variety palette. This one is one of my favorite palettes from them, but I do have quite a few of, like, these purples in here, which, I don't know, because I don't know if I prefer, like, these ones. Let's see how I like this sort of duo, because if I'm definitely keeping the Hocus Pocus. So those are the ones from the Garden Variety, and then we also have these. So a little bit darker. I don't know. I also have a ColourPop, like, pastel palette. Like, I'll pop up a picture on here. It's actually at my boyfriend's house. I was using it the other day and I forgot it there, but I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna keep both of them because I really like Garden Variety. Then I have this one. This is the Limoncello palette. Oh, it's so pretty, so summery, so festive. It has the big pans. It has these really beautiful yellow shades that I find are pretty unique to my collection, so gonna keep that one. Geez, I am not doing a good job getting rid of these ColourPop palettes. Okay. Then I have these Animal Crossing ones, which are really difficult, but I'll let myself keep 2 of them. I'm going to keep Isabelle, which is the 5-Star Island one, just because I think that this is really pretty. It has a glitter in it, pink, yellow, and then this other one. And then I have La Belle of the Ball, which is a really pretty purple. And then Nook Ink, which is this sort of minty one. And then What a Hoot, which is this one here. So I think I'm going to declutter these 2. Oh, I don't know. I have almost, like, the entire Animal Crossing collection, and they're fairly small. Alright, I'm not doing a good job, but I think I'm going to keep them. I feel terrible. Alright, anyway. Wow, this is not going well. Okay, well, one that I know, I like this one. This is the Main Squeeze palette. I actually do reach for this when I'm looking for reds, which I like to do in the springtime sometimes, so I'm gonna keep it. Oh my gosh, I am not doing okay. Then I have the That's Taupe, which I really like, but I guess I don't need it since I have the Natasha Denona palette. So, alright, I'll get rid of the That's Taupe, even though that one is, like, one of my favorites. Then I have the Darth Vader palette, which is really cool, very new. And then my baby is, you know, the Mandalorian the Child palette. Of course, I have to keep that one. Don't tell me that's all my ColourPop palettes, and I only got rid of 3. Or 4, actually. Okay. You know, I thought I would do better, but I didn't, so whatever. Let's just keep moving on. Then I have this from Beauty Bay. This is the Nikki Tutorials collaboration that they did. This is actually really good, again, for color. It has these super bright colors, and these shimmers are, like, next level type of shimmers with their shine. It's, like, insane. They're super, super good, so definitely want to keep that one. Then I have this Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette, and this one is the one that I was talking about when I have some of these warmer shades. It's also pretty new, so I'm going to hold on to it. Then I have this one here from Glamlight. This is the Burger Slider palette. It's really pretty. I love the blue in here, and again, like, it has that super cool green, but I'm keeping the other Glamlight palette, and this one is just the packaging. I'd never ever reach for it. It's like this, like, aired up bubble, so I'm going to declutter the Burger Slider palette. Then I have some of my singles in here. These are from Sydney Grace here, and then these ones are from Looksy, and I really like this one. This is, like, a little palette that I curated myself, and these ones are just so beautiful. Like, Looksy goes crazy with their shimmers. It's just so good. So of course I'm going to hold on to that one. Next one I have is this one here from Ulta. This is their rose gold palette. This one is super nice. I even hit pan in one of the shades in here, but at this point I just think it's a little bit too basic to keep in my collection, kind of taking up space. It's really nice. It was a gift from one of my boyfriend's brothers a couple years ago, but it is a little bit older and I definitely got use out of it. So I am just going to declutter that one. Then I have this one here from Tarte. This is the Clay Play Volume 2. This is a really, really good travel palette. It has like 3 different trios of shadows. It has a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter, and I actually really like the formula of this one, so I'm going to keep that one. Then I have this from Her Universe. This is the Marvel Infinity eyeshadow collection. It is missing a shade, so I think I'm just going to declutter that one. Then, I have my Tati Beauty palette. This one is so pretty, and I really love the warmer shades in here, so I'm going to hold on to this one. You can't get it anymore, and it's actually a really beautiful formula. Then I have this from Sweet and Shimmer. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember this? I need to break this out again. This was like one of the holiday palettes from like the Ulta holiday line that they do. And this is so good. I just mix these 2 shades together and it's just like the perfect all over lid color. And it's only $1, so really good. So I'm definitely gonna keep that. So that is the next bin empty. We have one more bin to go through. Hopefully I get rid of a couple more things because I was not successful in the ColourPop department, which I was really hoping for. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. All right, so moving on to the next section. First up, we have this Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced. This is like, what a throwback from 2016. So good. Mine still smells really good, so I know that it's not expired. So, you know, I'm gonna keep it. Then I have this from KVD. This is the Divine, the collaboration that they did with Divine, which I actually know now is like one of the original drag queens, so that's pretty cool. The only thing is I just don't really use this palette, so I think I'm going to declutter it. Then I have this from Ciate. This is the Miss Piggy All About Moi Cream Face Palette. I have actually gotten like pretty decent use out of this, and it is really nice, so I don't know, maybe I'll actually hold on to it and use it a little bit more now that I'm clearing up some more space in my collection. Then I have this Goddess palette from Alter Ego. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Natasha Nona Gold palette, which you actually can't even get that anymore, so I'm compelled to keep this, but I really don't even wear this color story very much, to be honest, and I feel like I don't really need it in my collection, so I am just going to declutter that one as well. Then I have this from Lorac. This is the Pro Eyeshadow Palette 2, and this is so good. I hit pan on both of these shades in here. The shimmers are okay. They have like a little bit of like a, I mean, especially just this green one. It has like a base, like a dark base, and then when you blend it out, it's just kind of like a black shade instead of being like a green shimmer, which is a little bit weird, but some of the other shades are pretty good. Like, look how crazy the pigment on these Pro palettes are. Super good, and I definitely want to keep it. The mirror is like filthy, but yeah, really nice palette, and it's so thin. It's a super good sort of traveling palette, I find. Then I have this really big palette with a couple more of my singular eyeshadows here. So these ones are from Sydney Grace. JD Glow, which unfortunately some stuff has come out about their brand, but I'm not going to get rid of them. They're very pretty shadows, but yeah, I just won't be purchasing from them anymore. And then the rest of these are all from Luxie. Oh wait, no, so these ones here are from Luxie, and then these ones are from Shine by SD. This one from Luxie is just absolutely insane. I really need to pull this, actually. This is so pretty. This is in the shade Painted Lady. It's just like this really beautiful purple with like this sort of blue shift to it. It's really, really pretty. So definitely keeping my single eyeshadows. Then I have this from Dose of Colors. This was like the Desi and Katie Friendcation palette. I always keep this, but I literally never use it. So I'm just going to declutter it. Then I have this from Hourglass. This is their Ambient Lighting Edit Mini. This is like one of their holiday face palettes. It's okay. I don't really use it a ton. I probably should start using this powder more, and then like the blush. I actually really like the shade of it, so maybe I'll get more use out of it. My packaging broke, unfortunately, but it was kind of expensive, so I think I'm just gonna keep it. Then I have this from Estate Cosmetics. This is actually a collaboration with Bailey Sarian, and I really, really love Bailey, but I just don't really use the palette too much. I have used it a little bit in the past, but it just has a ton of repeat shades, so I don't need to keep it. So going to declutter it. Then I have this from Pat McGrath. This is just a little mini. This was the Eye Ecstasy Sublime eyeshadow palette, and this is just made up of entirely shimmers. So pretty. I actually really need to reach for this more. it's so gorgeous. Like, look at the quality of the shadows in here, and it's just in this really nice small package. So I'm definitely going to hold on to it. Then I have this one here from Becca. This is the Après Highlights palette from their Ski Glow collection. And this one is kind of cool because it has eyeshadows in here that are actually made up of like their highlighter formula, I'm pretty sure. So it's like I almost have a little sampling of a bunch of their highlighters. Even though they are, you know, unfortunately out of business, it's still kind of cool to keep. So I'm going to hold on to it. Then I have this. This was my first ever high-end eyeshadow palette, so I'm just keeping it, not really to use, but just for more like nostalgia. This was the, I think, Romantic Eyes. Oh, it's the Riesling Romance eyeshadow palette from Lorac. And yeah, I remember buying that with my mom during like an Ulta like 21 Days of Beauty event that they did. Then I have this from MAC. This is just a little duo that I made in the city when I went with my boyfriend's sister and her friend. We did like, she was in like makeup classes, and we were in the city one of the days. We went to like a Broadway play. We stopped at the MAC store and I ended up picking this up. So I'm gonna hold on to it. It's nice and tiny. Then I have this from Natasha Nona. This is a little mini palette. This is, I think, the Mini Sunset. Yeah, Mini Sunset. So it's a really nice mix of some warmer tones, and I'm definitely going to keep it. Another little one is this one here from ABH. This is the Norvina palette. I've actually never used this one. I don't know why. It has a lot of nice greens in it, but I did keep a couple other palettes just for the greens, so I think I can finally just go ahead and declutter it. And I think this is one of the last ones. Now I just have like a little display section after this one. This is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow palette. This is the Confident Energy palette, which is an all shimmer palette. It's very, very pretty. This one I got as a gift, and although I don't use it a ton, I really want to use this shade on like an inner corner. I think that it would be super pretty. It's sort of like a greenish, but it has like a really pretty golden reflect to it, so I really want to try this out and be a little bit more creative. All right, so this last section that we have here, I'm actually not going to be getting rid of anything, just because these are like my display ones and ones that I actually really love, and they're all like my ABH ones after this one, or after the next two. So I do like to collect those, but this one is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. I have quite a bit of content on this one on my Instagram, and it is so pretty. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes, so I'm definitely going to be holding on to that one. And then I also have the original Urban Decay Naked palette. This one is so good. I always find myself reaching for this one. My favorite shade in this palette is the shade Toasted. This all over the lid for some reason is just such a really pretty, like, soft glam type of look, and I just find that it's really gorgeous, so I'm definitely going to hold on to it. And this one isn't too old. I picked this one up when they announced that it was being discontinued. Like, I never had it originally back in the day or anything. That was a pickup once I found out that it was being discontinued. But this one is my Modern Renaissance, my original Modern Renaissance palette, where I have pan in like 3 of the shades, or a little bit in this one as well. But yeah, this one I got for like my 16th birthday, and I am now 22, but you know what? I'm still keeping it because it is like my little baby. Then I have the Sultry palette, which, let's just look at this packaging. It's so pretty. It's a really, really nice cool toned eyeshadow palette. I do have my Natasha Nona one, but I still really like the ABH formula. Then I have the Norvina palette. This one is one of my most used ABH palettes. I think it's so pretty. I absolutely love the colors in here. Then, of course, I have to keep my Alyssa Edwards palette. I love her. One of the funniest drag queens ever, and this is a really nice bright palette, although it does have some more neutral color, so it's really versatile, so definitely going to hold on to it. Then I have the Prism palette, which I got on vacation in Miami with my boyfriend. It was one of our first, it's actually, yeah, it was our first vacation we ever went on together, so I just have really nice memories tied to this one, and I just think it's so pretty. And then last one, this is another one that I really like. It's more colorful. This is the Riviera palette, and I always find myself reaching for these bright shades. And these shimmers up here, this one in the shade Seaside, so beautiful. I love this color. I think it's so pretty all over the lid. It's just super unique, and I think it's really nice. So yeah, of course, going to keep that one. And that is it, guys, for my eyeshadow palette declutter. Let me count up how many I got rid of. I know I don't have too many. I really, they're scattered everywhere. I can't count how many I kept, but I will count how many I got rid of, and I'll bring them on screen. That way you can see sort of like an overview. Yeah, let me go do that really quick. Okay, so in total, I got rid of 14 eyeshadow palettes, which is pretty good because I have done many eyeshadow palette declutters before. I've gotten rid of like way less, and this was kind of like already like my pared down collection, so for me to be getting rid of 14 out of like what I thought was going to be like my final collection is really good. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my palette declutter video. Although I didn't get rid of like too much stuff, I hope it was still fun kind of looking through my collection and seeing what I have. I think that is it for today's video. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed. I also have a declutter playlist which I will have linked down below, and of course subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And so if you like watching videos like declutters and ranking and shop my stash videos, definitely subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing some other content that I have. But yeah, that is it guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!